Jacob, what are the things that you think that the D line, just the front seven as a whole, needs to do to clean up some of those runs?
Yeah, I think really it's just about like what fit are we in? Are we blitzing? Who's supposed to fit where? I think we did a pretty good job for the most part. It was literally just like one guy missing a fit here, one guy thinking he was fitting here. Just cleaning up some of those rules and then cleaning up some of those fits, I think, will really help us. But it was one guy here or there. There was a little bit of miscommunication amongst, so that's just something that we will clean up during the bye week.
What was it like to have those two interceptions where there's no splash plays really happening on offense either, but to keep you in the game with Jacob and those interceptions?
Yeah, I mean, we preach turnovers. We preach attacking the football. We preach playing behind the line of scrimmage. So anytime you can, force turnovers and, create negative plays, that's a huge deal as a defense. So that's something we spend a lot of time on and take a lot of pride in as a defense. So, credit to those guys for making huge plays, in this game.
What were you seeing out of their offense that allowed them to be successful on those fourth down attempts?
On the fourth down attempts? Yeah, I mean, they schemed up some really good things. Give credit to them. They have, phenomenal coaches who schemed up, some really good plays. They did some things that they hadn't shown on film before. We had to go back and watch Tiffin film for where the staff was previously at to kind of understand it. Like, they came out in Wildcat. They didn't show that last week. They came out in 12P. They had like 2 snaps of 12P last week. So, they gave us a lot of different stuff. They schemed up a very good game. And, honestly, I think you got to give a lot of credit to our coaches. We had a Wildcat game plan. We had game plans for some of the stuff. The 12P stuff was a little bit of a, wrinkle that we didn't think we were going to get, but we still had a plan for. But, at the end of the day, it's those in-game adjustments, and give credit to our coaches for doing a great job of making those.
What was the guys' reaction at halftime when the fans are booing as you're running off?
Yeah, I don't think, we really paid any mind to it. Like, we got in the locker room, we got pretty fired up. Like, it was more of, what can we do better? It was, that is not our standard of football, what was just put on that field for the last 30 minutes. So, really, it was about, inspiring each other, having each other's back in that moment and fixing what went on. We talked about, I don't think we played hard in that first half, and, that's embarrassing, and that will be corrected, through this week and through next week. That will never happen again, and I think that, continuing to uphold the standard that is JMU football and the culture of that locker room is, vitally important. And, give credit to the guys who stepped up and were vocal at halftime and, got it corrected for the second half.
It's sort of a coaching cliche to say, it's better to learn from a victory than learn from a loss. But
yeah.
What's kind of your thought on the fact that, hey, after everything we're talking about, you did walk out of here with a win tonight?
Yeah, I mean, you're 2-0, but at the end of the day, we'll come in on Monday, and no matter if we win or if we lose, it doesn't matter, get better. And, how can we continue to get better each and every single day, each week? And you're going into a bye week, and now it's not time to relax whatsoever. It's not, we don't play a game on Saturday, we don't have to game plan. No, it's time to go. Like, we have to go right now. And I think that what happened in that field today was an absolutely great learning experience, and we will use that to move forward and continue to grow this program.
How much could it help to have this game this early in the season where it is hard fought and maybe not exactly what you guys were expecting?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great. I think it's great when you have adversity at home to a team that you might feel that you're better than. I think this is an awesome opportunity to learn from, especially when you can walk away with a win in the win column. It's not necessarily pretty, but at the end of the day, you still won a football game. It's hard to win college football games, so I don't want to lose sight of that. But, you want it to look a certain way, and that was not up to the standard today. And, I think when you can learn from a win versus a loss, it's pretty powerful. But, we talk about all the time, mismanaged success leads to failure, and well-managed failure leads to success. And, we probably had some mismanaged success this past week, and, that won't happen again, but it didn't lead to a failure. But there was some failures today.
You mentioned in the first half that wasn't the standard of JMU football. Was that just something of not taking them very seriously early on as a team, or was there a different reason that you felt that?
I don't know exactly what it was. I don't think, I think there was a little bit of an effort issue at times on that field. But, I know from, our preparation defensively this entire week that, we took them extremely seriously. We went back and watched the staff. I know that our coaches had a game plan for stuff that they didn't show yet at Gardner-Webb that we knew they could run based on their previous history. So the coaches and, all of us took them extremely seriously because they have some, FBS players on their roster. They are a good FCS team. And, I think it was really just about like thinking that just because we were JMU, we were going to win. I think that was a mindset of a few guys, but, that will never happen again. That needs to be cleaned up going forward.
slightly off topic, but the 20-year anniversary of that national championship team here. Did those guys talk to you, or did you have any interaction with any of them or Coach Matthews this week?
Unfortunately, we didn't get to have an interaction with them, but we've seen Coach Matthews at practice. He came and spoke to the team during the spring, and it's obviously great when you have, one of the greatest groups to ever do it. I mean, there's 2 national champions here at JMU. Anytime you can bring back, a group like that really is the greatest to ever do it and honor them, it's pretty powerful. And, it really exemplifies what the standard JMU football is. So obviously that was exciting to have them back and honor the 20th anniversary of that first national championship. But, I think it's a good reminder of what the standard JMU football is and how we need to uphold that every single day.
Yeah, you guys, playing in front of a home crowd for the first time, obviously, it's your first game in the home stadium. Do you think that affected anything? Was there any added pressure of just being at home?
No, I don't think there was any added pressure, but, I will say this stadium, this environment, JMU Nation. I mean, I had goosebumps and I had a little bit of glass in my eyes. Running out, feeling that band, feeling the crowd go crazy. I mean, it's pretty powerful when you have that many people support you and the way they support you. It's felt, and it's an honor and a privilege to put on that uniform. And so, when you perform like that and you don't uphold the standard and you don't give back to that support you're getting, you're a little disappointed. So I know that we will fix that going forward, and I promise we will fix that going forward.
I'll ask you the same question I asked Coach Chesley, is just like, how satisfied are you with the offensive line play so far, especially given some struggles early in the games, the first 2 games?
I'm satisfied that in the second half we came out and we played who we really are. First half we didn't as much, but I'm happy. I'm proud of the guys for how we did when the game mattered the most at the end.
You guys were booed at halftime by your home fans. That's not usual. What was the reaction in the locker room? Did you guys hear it? Did you talk about it?
Yeah, we talked about it, and we used it as energy. Like, they booed us, but we used it as energy. That doesn't really happen here, and it hasn't happened in a while. But we took that, and we're like, we need to fix it. We need to get after it and play who we are, as who JMU really is. We weren't doing that in the first half, and we needed to bring that out for the second half and do what we do.
Do you feel like you kind of won those fans back over a little bit in the second half?
I hope so. Well, we will for sure if we didn't then.
How do you guys manage any possible frustration you guys may be feeling when you come off the field after that first half?
Well, even frustrations or high energy, like a celebration, you can't be too high or too low. You just got to stay confident and stay calm no matter what the situation is, because the game changes so fast.
What is it like to block in front of George? How explosive is he really, and what is in game speed like? How impressive is he?
It's very impressive, because I'll just be blocking. I see him fly right by me, and I'm just like, that's nice to have a back like George that can just help the O-line out when we're struggling a little bit, and our running backs are great, and they make up for that.
Just based off your experience in past offenses that maybe have struggled and then eventually rekindle their offense later in the season, what do you think this offense needs to do to really get flowing?
I think it's just like the iPads on the sideline and stuff. We get to see what happens. It's just like one missed block, and that's throughout the whole entire offense. Like, it's not any singular person. I had one, and I had a few, and it's like everyone has like one missed block, one loaf or something, that if that happened, the play's just going to – the running back's gone, the ball's gone, like they'll be in the end zone. It's just like we need to play absolutely all out every single play throughout the whole game. We can't wait till the second half.
You're just coming off of just kind of a roller coaster game like that. Do you kind of have maybe like a sigh of relief, or are you just kind of more motivated to kind of go into this bye week and maybe tool those things up that you know that weren't going well on the field today?
Well, I'd say a little bit of both, but I'm glad we have a bye week because we can go back, self-evaluate what we need to do for each and every one of us. Start getting on UNC now, because this is one of the most important games we're ever going to play in our lives. So get after it now and let's attack it.
You mentioned the first half wasn't JMU football. Just what were they doing that made it such a struggle offensively?
I wouldn't say it was what they were doing. I would just say it's what we were doing. I'd say like we just underestimated them a little bit. We were loafing a little bit, just some missed blocks. I wouldn't say anything they were doing was exponential or anything. Like we were hurting ourselves, I'd say.
you guys are playing more guys. More guys are getting snaps on the offensive line than a year ago. Is there like a adjustment period to having like different combinations out there at different times, or does it take a little time to get used to that change?
I want to say it takes time to get changed. Like rotating everyone, we practice with each other all practice, all off season, camp, everything. So it helps us stay fresh so we can play as hard as we absolutely can every single play. Having everyone be able to play in the game, it's nice.
When an offense is struggling to kind of get in gear, sometimes it just takes a playmaker kind of doing something special to break you out of it. That didn't happen tonight. Do you feel like this roster has playmakers who can break you out of a funk, and it just didn't happen?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a ton of amazing players on this team. Io, George, all sorts of people, Purdy. Like, we have playmakers, and we're going to show that in the future. I promise you guys that.
And, for maybe the fans that are upset after this game, what would be your message to stick with JMU football throughout the season and to stay excited?
I would say believe in who we are. We're JMU, and we know what we have to change, and we're going to do that, and you'll be proud of us. I promise you that.
Obviously, your first year here with JMU, what's it been like to not only factor in on the run game, but in the pass game as well?
Just being an overall total package, wherever they need me, wherever they call my number, just, staying ready, whether it's in the run game or the pass game. Obviously, just being an overall playmaker, making plays in space, being an outlet for Alonzo or Dylan, whoever's in the game at quarterback, just being there for him, just an outlet, and then making plays.
What were you guys seeing out of the defense that Gardner-Webb presented, especially in the first half, that was kind of keeping you guys limited as a whole?
I feel like it was us. I don't feel like it was really them as a defense really stopping us. A couple penalties here and there, a couple misreads from either me or the quarterback or stuff like that. But it wasn't really the defense that stopped us. I feel like it was us that stopped us.
You mentioned the term playmaker, and sometimes in a game where the offense just can't get in gear, it just takes a guy kind of breaking some tackles, making a big play. One, do you feel like you have that kind of ability that other guys on this roster do, and why do you think nobody could make that kind of a play tonight?
I feel like, we definitely have explosive playmakers on the team. It's not just me, number one. But the ball just didn't find those guys, Cam, Ymir, OD, all playmakers, guys that can get the ball in space and, make plays. You saw last week at Charlotte. So, finding ways to get them the ball early on, finding ways to get me the ball early on. Seven went down. He's another playmaker. You saw what Purdy did. So, we're a roster full of playmakers and explosive guys. It's definitely not just me. But definitely just getting off to an early start would definitely help us out.
And the expectations here are really high, but to be booed at halftime in your home opener, what was kind of the reaction of the guys to hearing that, and did you talk about it in the locker room?
Honestly, I don't pay no attention to the fans booing. Obviously, we just trying to get the dub, but, going back to that locker room, it was definitely a level of togetherness. Guys were poised. Obviously, Cole Purse had us fired up at halftime, but, I feel like, Dobbs was over here talking about D. I feel like they did a great job, only 7 points on another team, so, we got to help them out. We got to get off the early starts, get the ball in the end zone, get the ball out, stuff like that.
George, I got to imagine this is a game like this is a long time coming for you, highly recruited, didn't get many opportunities at UNC. Just try your best to speak selfishly for a second. What does a game like this mean for you, like career high and everything?
It's a lot of stuff to clean up. I'm very humble. It's really just another game, honestly. I feel like I could have did more out there. I feel like I could have made more plays, a lot of yards left out there. But at the end of the day, it's I feel like this is what's in store. I feel like I need to be here. I feel like, it's not where I want to be, but where I need to be. And, Coach Kenny, he's doing a great job of giving me the ball and ability to make plays, and I got to make those plays.
Specifically, what are those things that you think you're going to be looking to clean up?
Just getting those extra yards. There's a lot of runs that I broke for like 10, 15, and those need to be 50-yard runs. You know what I mean? Getting the ball into the end zone, breaking more tackles, reading my keys more, stuff like that. But and then also being a leader on the sideline. I'm a little quiet. I like the pace and stuff like that. But, I feel like at times they need to hear my voice, and, I'll make sure it's felt.
I think Io went down with a bit of an injury. Is there any words of encouragement that you might give to him that he might be, fighting back for something?
I talked to him right after the game. I don't really know what it is. I'm sure I can't talk about that, but he's definitely cheered us on from his side. He's definitely gonna be back and fine for sure.
How much does having a game like this that kind of maybe shocks you a little bit, especially in the first half, how much can it help to have it this early in the season?
Definitely, you don't want to have it late in the season for sure. But it's a lot of stuff to clean up. We got explosive guys everywhere. You know, offensive line is doing a great job. Alonzo, he's sitting there, he's poised, he's calm. He definitely knows what he's doing. So, you know, once we get it clicking, we definitely gonna get it clicking. I don't know when that is. We got a bye week, so we got a lot of stuff to clean up. Guys can recover, you know, get off their feet a little bit. But you know, going into that third game, you know, we got to be ready for sure.
With so many new faces on this team, do you guys still feel like you're trying to gel as a unit, like across the board?
Definitely. Me and Dave was just talking about that. It's honestly no excuses, you know what I mean? Definitely no excuses going into the game. But, yeah, it's 40, 30, 45, 50 new people, a whole new staff. You know, everybody's definitely trying to gel and be together. But end of the day, offense got to be better for sure.
You talk about, you know, you guys need to get off to faster starts. There's a lot of explosiveness we haven't seen. Just when you talk about the offense and you talk about this team in general, where do you sort of imagine, and you know, how much potential is there that's just kind of been untapped so far through these first 2 weeks?
Definitely got to watch the film and, you know, see. But it's definitely a lot of potential really everywhere across the board. We got to watch the film and just be better. I don't really know how to explain it. Like, it's definitely a lot of explosiveness from every single position. The tight end room, we're deep. The running back room, we're deep. The wide receiver room, we're deep. Quarterback room, we're deep. The offensive line is very, very solid. You know, so, you know, just getting our playmakers the ball so they can really make plays and, you know, open this thing up. It'll help the run game and it'll help the pass game for sure.
Just in case this is our last time we talk to you until it's UNC, is there anything else you want to say about, you know, maybe proving some people wrong there in the next game?
Nah, I'ma just stay calm and, you know, till that moment come. That's what I've been telling myself. I'ma just keep, you know, recovering, and just watching film and get ready for that. You know, we got 2 weeks to prepare for them, so we should be ready for sure.